Hi, I'm Mutgren and welcome to Dad's Old Shop. I just got a warning on something, so I'm just double checking. Okay, it's just YouTube being weird. So, I am here today after a bit of while. I got sick and then had life stuff come up. But, still working on the bellows. Um, I made a little bit more progress. Most of it is just in making the expansion part of it. Um, the expansion chamber. There we go. That like expands to bring in gas. But today we're going to work on the handle. I have the handle here. It's just I believe it's an oak blank, might be pine. I forget. Let me see. Oh yeah, pine. I just scratched it and figured it out. And I trimmed it a little bit, and I gave it a relief cut over here, right there, right there. Mark. There we go. That relief cut is where we're going to be shaving to get this flat against the top here. Um, but as I was setting up and getting all these things ready and moving stuff, because, oh boy, the next project after I get this done is just cleaning out the shop. I have so much stuff everywhere. Um, I don't have a way to hold this while I do this, because I'm interested in maybe using the draw knife that I have. I haven't used that in a while. Something I haven't, I think, shown either. So, to do that, I figured out if I get a V block, which is where I get a block of wood and cut a V into it, this will have something to sit in, and I will just use the hold fast, one of the metal hold fast, like I have here, to keep it into the bench while I do that. We'll see how well that works, and if it doesn't, we'll figure something out. It shouldn't be too long of a stream. I'm mostly worried about the handleness of it, and as long as it is a handle, I can refine it later, because there is some refinement I'll need to do. Like, I can't make the back flush of the handle itself flush to that with the relief, because I need to keep some room for putting canvas and potentially removing canvas. So there needs to be a sweep, and I don't know exactly how much that sweep will need to be until I get the canvassing part done, which I'm getting close to being able to do. I also I don't have my um, ambient microphone set up right now. I had to use it for work. We recently had a bit of work from home. My job does it in the dumbest way possible. Um, but for some reason, the headset that I use at the office, every so often when I come off a break, just won't be configured again. And it sometimes takes up to, 30 to 45 minutes to finally get it reconfigured, because there's no real reason as to why it deconfigures itself. So I was having a pretty hectic day. Let me just get this cut across and start this. And I had a lot of phone calls, so I would by whatever means. So if I would have bought that microphone in the last decade, I probably could say it's a business expense. But I bought it a very long time ago. I am feeling better. Still a little bit of cough, but that's winter. And also, I kind of did like a live tweeting of it. I replaced the door, or added a door, to our bedroom, and as part of that, I breathed in so much fine dust. Because I did mostly do it with hand tools. I did use a drill because using a bit brace would have killed me. But um, because it is an old house and the door was also put up a long time ago, or the door frame, and I had to disassemble the whole frame, and it's laughing plaster. I did breathe in a lot of dust. That's probably why I still have the cough. It's definitely better than it was. Um, and I got antibiotics as a prophylactic. I think I also had what do you call that, a sinus infection at the same time. Almost there. Um, so yeah, I have that just on social, just showing the process of destroying it, and I don't have the frame rebuilt. I want to replace some of the plaster, just to give it that strength that it's used to having. So that's a whole new project. But for now, the wife's happy with it. It's a door with a lock, which you kind of need with a small child. And yeah, it's been a while since last stream. Got back at the foxhole, and we're doing okay. Although I think I was kind of just thinking about it now, as I was, enjoying getting this stuff together, going, man, foxhole's leaving me with a lot of time for other things. So I think after this war, I might take a break until, oh, there's a new war type that's coming out that I want to try. You know what? Maybe I will just go into a dormant state and just go up to have fun with some of the stuff sometimes. But you know, I want the time to do things like this. I did miss streaming. And by streaming, I mean doing the projects that I tell myself I'm going to do. Like I was outside today practicing volleyball, which I'll get to. And I used the axe throwing target, and I just, you know, stapled some cardboard over it so that none of the rough head just pierced the ball. And that felt so good to do, because I'm so bad at volleyball. But I actually started playing last week at a local league. Not league, but like a fitness center day thing. It's like a scheduled event. So they didn't have any skill requirements, but you know, turns out that most of the people that show up there are, you know, at least familiar with the game. I am barely familiar. The people there were very nice though and walked me through some terminology that I didn't know and stuff like that. So, and I did all right. My knee's kind of messed up, but that's fine. My knee sucks anyway. So this is that V block I'm talking about. So now it has something to sit in. Another part about this handle blank here is that it is bent. It has a pretty big curve to it, so we're going to be dealing with that as well. This is the top of the bellows, the lid of it. And see down here, there's a little hinge. And this whole thing will go up and down and up and down. And when you pull it up, it'll take in air. And when you let it go, it'll release that air. And that's how a bellows works for blacksmithing. Welcome to my TED Talk. So, oh god, I have so much stuff here. Jeez Louise. So this, like I said, this is gonna stay here because we're gonna form this because this is actually what we're gonna hold or lift up and down. This is the part that needs to have the stuff kind of stripped off of it there. So I'm just figuring out how to align it for that process because I want to be cutting towards myself or down the length of it. I don't have a second V block. This first one, I guess it matters. You know, I guess we just got to kind of go step by step. This is the first time I ever built a handle this longer like this, so we're going to be learning some things as we go. Because, like, ideally you'd have a shave horse, which is just a type of clamp that would hold this. I don't have one of those. Actually, we'll do it two ways. We'll do one coming this way and then one going this way. So, and then we'll go into spoke shave because we're just going to do bulk removal right now. Because that's, you know, what a draw knife is actually good at, bulk removal. Spoke shave is the thing that's better at fine removal. And I could also use an axe or something like that, but that I have even less practice with on doing something this long, and it's actually not too deep of a cut. I'm only trying to remove like a 1/4 of an inch. Oh, where'd my hammer go? I believe it is upstairs. Give me 1 second. I think I left it right up there. Oh no, it's on. It's upstairs. So far upstairs that it'll cut the signal from my mic and headphones here. So we're going to improvise and make some noise. And then I apologize. Let me see if I can grab something just to hit in between so it's not as loud. Holding that the wrong way. There we go. So we have that facing that way. So, oh, I immediately nicked it. Great. Taking it out of its enclosure. So this is a draw knife. You take it and you draw it across. And I guess I have to do this upside down because of the angle here. But kind of just goes like this. And then it's for bulk removal. It's not a precision tool by any means. And I did align the grain so that I'm not splitting layers here. Like you see all the layers are stacked kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I was to use this on these sides, these would pop out a lot. So this keeps, and it does have pretty straight grain. In general, like the stuff at the bottom ends up at the top. So it's pretty good for a handle. As far as like random wood I got at Home Depot, it's pretty good. And I know I have a belly on this, so I'm going to have to work more here. There's that belly. I did get some splittage there. That's fine. Even if it's not perfect, this is what I'm carving now is the bottom of the handle. So this, I won't be handling this part. I won't actually be handling the handle. And nobody will see this part because it'll be, you know, on the bellow. So let me see what I got here. Okay. I think this is actually the only part that's down there. Do a little bit more removal up top here. My angle went off there and went too deep. Really just trying to skate this and get like the first 16th of an inch. Okay. Yeah. All right. So some of this part feels really good, some of it doesn't, and that's fine. So what I'm going to do now is take it and flip it. And now it's kind of weird because I mean, the V-block will still work, but I don't really need it because it's a relatively flat surface. For me, it doesn't, like it rolls because I'm strong, very strong, but there we go. Now it's just something to protect it from getting beaten on, I guess. Still important, still important. There we go. So now we're going to go this way and hope for a merciful grain direction, and then I don't go too deep. And then we can get a level. Yeah, I have a level down here, and fine tune for flatness. I went too far, hit the handle a little bit. Fine. And while this tool actually isn't that sharp, it's just doing work that is kind of easy for it. So it's kind of the benefits of having the right tool for the job. And this is, I like it, and I afforded it. This is not like a high-end draw knife by any means. I think this comes out of the factory where they make the cheapest possible Chinese cleavers for just weird blanks, you know what I mean? Okay, I can kind of see where it goes. So we're gonna try to be gentle in the cut here because I don't want to pop too far. Nope, just splitting the handle. I mean, on the upside, the part here that I'm hitting, it was going to have, or it is going to be shaped to be rounded and stuff. So like, I was going to lose this material anyway, but it's just taking away area where I can make mistakes, right? Alrighty, and got to go a little bit more to this side. Alright. And I think partway through stream, my family will be home. So I might have to throw up a BRB screen to help them unpack from their little trip. So I'm just doing this again on this side of it. And I'm not going to get too aggressive. I'm just going to get down the line on this side, sort of, because this is kind of twisted. There we go. So we're close. So yeah, the first session of volleyball was really nice. Everybody was very patient with me. It was a mix of people. So like some older people, some younger people. Like I couldn't tell if you were a senior in high school or like a freshman in college type age. People with good knees. And then there's some people around, you know, dwarven adulthood. And that was fine. Once again, all of them better. But I did some plays. I'm most happy with my serving. I had a couple good runs where I got like 4 or 5 hits off in a row because I was able to get them in bad positions to start with. And also, some of my receipts, especially as the match went on, got better. Although we did do 5 matches, and the teams that I was on only won the last 2. So it is co-ed too. So I am buoyed a little bit by the fact, even though I'm a dwarf and short, in general, so are they. And they're not used to the bigger nets that men hit off of. Men hit off of 8-foot nets, while women hit like 7'9", 7'10". It's not significantly different, but if especially if it's something you're trained to do, it's a little bit jarring because your muscle memory doesn't work as well. There we go. So, taking a look up, I definitely have a belly. I'm going to go grab a straight edge here. We're just going to plop it right here. And this won't tell me if I'm parallel flat. It's going to tell me if everything's on the same plane. So this is also why I have to look at some other things. But from there to there. So towards the top bit up here, there's still a bump. I'm just looking for where light's seeping through. And yeah, that's kind of the high point. Okay, and then I just kind of got to straighten it out. Okay. We're going to just pop you up here right now. And we're going to switch from this to the spoke shave. And let's get spoke shave is this is actually one of the newest tools I have. It looks old because it's a model of an old Stanley, because it is a Stanley. These are Huncha in Mexico, and they're very good. I think this mouth is a little bit wide. So the way that these adjust is you just screw these screws here to get it tighter or looser. And you can do other things like move the blade, but hopefully you can just make, actually I'm making the mouth wider. Or making the cut deeper. I have to retract them. So like my ideal is just to have it tight enough that it doesn't wiggle, but enough that I can do small amounts of hand tightening and loosening. It's still hard, but all right. So there we go. So just to kind of, give me 1 second, I'm going to go grab a chip here. So this is the type of chip that the draw knife was taken. It's big, it's crumbly. This is what the spoke shave is taking. A lot thinner, this nice curl. They're still brittle because they're not like feathery, but this is a more refined tool. This cares about grain a bit more. It'll kind of complain when it has really bad grain and do a lot of chatter because doesn't have much in it to negate chatter. And also if you start getting really fine stuff, it jams kind of easy because it has a chip breaker, but it just is not a very big tool. So it just does not have the weight and ability to shrug that type of stuff off. All right, I'm gonna hit that one more time. See, it's starting to get stuff curl around the tip there. All right. God, I should probably hit it with this. Just because the metal on metal gets me nervous. I don't want anything to get chipped or something like that, because it's all, you know, all this stuff is pretty fine. It's pretty all high quality metal, but you know. All right, so looking over the handle, we have high points here. I scratched up a little bit. High points there, and where else? High points there, and here. So we're gonna just hit the high point down here a little bit. Let's see where I made it rough. There we go. We're just gonna hit that with like 2 or 3 shade smokes, like swipes. This doesn't need to be super in depth. I just want to also make sure that I get any grit off that so it doesn't chew up the blade. Okay, here we go. One more should do it. Yeah, it's probably fine, but there we go. And now we, and then the other spot. This spot is actually a bit higher. This will be like 4 or so swipes probably. Something like that. There we go. Oh god, these are thick. Man, I haven't used this tool forever. It's still so sharp. Really does a good job at retaining its edge. Alright, we're just going to take it a little bit more here. I can't quite get to the edge here, so what I'm going to do is, where's that extra plane blade I have? Here. Where did I put it? This is why I need to actually clean stuff up. Usually I have an extra plane blade, and I don't want to start pushing stuff because you can't see what's at the bottom there. It's 1/8 inch. Let's put you over here so I don't bang you into something. Here we go. What we can do, we can just take the butt of this mallet, here's why I don't want to use the head, is pretty heavy. Yeah, I'm worried about losing control over it, but this is also a weird technique, doing it like underhanded. All right, a little bit more. Just want to get a little bit more on this side. I think I can just float this. All right. I say I can just float this as I palm it. The height of hubris. Okay. So now we're going to test again for flatness. Come on. Here we go. I was smacking the wood, but not the thing. So slapping it, but that actually needs to impart power into it. So there's a bit divot up there, that's fine. And okay, this is a lot closer. A lot closer. So what I'm going to do next is now not worry about flatness. Well, not worry about the absolute flatness. We're definitely going with the draw knife. And with the draw knife, because it's so big and has dust stick to it, when I'm done, I just run wax over it just to keep it from rusting. Okay, we're gonna move you. Move all these things out of the way. We're gonna get the top here. So we can see how it sits onto the top. I already kind of have a line of where I expect it to be. But also none of these materials are perfectly flat ones here. Most of the stuff is salvage. So bring the top up here. I'm gonna flop it here. Go see where we're at, and oh, Nelly. All right, so what I'm seeing is big here, big here. So I'm gonna try to one-hand the spoke shape here. Not the traditional way you do it, not a good way to do it, but just to see if we can hollow that out a little bit. Try to make sure it goes on the line that I scratched in there. Yep. So part of it will just come down together as we what's the word? As we screw it down. But yeah, there's a big old bow, like right here, pretty much from there to there. So we see it, we know where it's at. And that means we can do something about it. Big old bow. Come on, I need you to see. Okay. So it was from like here to here. So we're just gonna take the spoke shave, just let's wail on this just a little bit. Like it wasn't a little bit, it was a lot of it. Okay. Cool, cool. So I just gotta I'm just gonna put it over the edge here. Okay, I think part of that is actually my problem. Yeah, it's got to do more actually down here. It's in the difficult spot, huh? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one more little relief cut over here. There we go. And then we're just going to go down to there. Let's do it this way. Oh, God, it's too tall. I can watch it. Okay, let's see how that looks now. See if I'm on the right track here. Yeah, a little bit. I'm just a little bit off the mark. I think I have to come from all the way up here. Alright. Sorry, I might be hitting my mic a little bit. I do apologize. Also trying to keep this in frame, just to kind of show what I'm doing, which is just taking a chisel, running it along. It'd be helpful if I had a wider chisel, but this actually, I think the wider chisel is like an inch. So I'm just running it across to try to get flat surface. And I'm trying to do it in a way that has me cutting away from myself. So I noticed I was cutting towards myself, and while I trust myself, I am kind of stupid sometimes. All right. All right, and the last like inch is making me angry. All right. Okay, let me give this a shot. Line. There you go. I think it's just the bend. Part of it too. And that's something that you can't really tell. Oh well. I also see there's so much material there. Yeah, I see it now. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to plane it for a little bit, just from up here all the way down. I'm gonna use this on here just to keep that upright. Because what I see is starting here, all the way down there, just a big old bow, or big old belly rather. So it's hitting that belly. I can kind of see it based on like how many rings I can see, because the more rings I go down, the more from the sides get exposed. Oh, it's clogged. So remember what I said earlier about clogging? It did that little jump there. It's because it's clogged. So let me go grab just something to wiggle this stuff out. I don't want to use any of my sharp stuff because I don't want to dull it by doing metal on metal. Yeah, we're gonna use the knife that served Abraham Lincoln. / the foam knife. Okay, there we go. That's another thing, because it doesn't really have a chip breaker. Like it has one, but like it doesn't actually break chips super well. It just loops around on itself. This tool is kind of finicky to work with. Very good. I definitely recommend them. Especially when you get into stuff like this. It's very helpful. Also, you can cut curves and stuff like this with this. Like I have it bellied a little bit to allow me to get into very small radius of curves, but that's just something you can do by grinding it. So spoke save, I think it has something to do with making wheels. Like the spokes and wheel probably. That would be helpful. It's weird to think of things as circular. Oh, that's a pretty good jam. What I don't want to do is hurt the blade. Or myself. What I primarily don't want to do is hurt myself. That's number one. I like me. There we go. Okay. Cleared. And what this might tell me too is also that I need to start honing this tool. Also, I'm getting a fair amount of tear out, so this way. Ooh. Also, the secret though is that if this handle is smaller, it doesn't need to be super strong on its own because it's going to be screwed, nailed to the top of it, which will give it its strength. But if it's thinner, it's bendable. I can just make it go where I want. Alright, so I see there's still significant stuff here, but I want to move this before I do it. Look at this perfect little curl. Look at this. Looks like a little, what do you call those? Combo. Oh, well, that's fun. Now let me give it a try and see what I can see. It's still kind of about the same. I think it's just because the top actually is more, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to shave the bottom here. I'm going to shave the bottom, and then I'm just going to bully it into place. And then we'll worry about the handle shape itself. Actually, after I bully it, that'll probably be the end of stream because my family will be back. And I know the wife would like some backup. So these are the things. Also, I hate that it's twisted sometimes when I do that. So I'm like, God. Making a neat sound. Bang. Okay, part of this probably got wedged open, so I'm gonna close the mouth a little bit more. There we go. Bang, bang. You can hear it just snapping back and hitting. Bang, bang, bang. Oh. Also, sometimes having an angle can help because it allows one corner to dig in. You know, the rest roll out. Also, you get neat little long shavings like that. Excellent fire settings. Bang, bang. It's like a guitar string or something. It does make it hard to play though because it bounces. It's not staying still. I guess if I start from the edge. Oh. Another thing that this actually doesn't do is flatten out the thing because it's so small. It rides the curves. I can feel it going up and down, as opposed to like a hand plane, which has a bigger base, so it would like skip. Watch. See how it skips there, and it's not getting one cut because it's hitting high and low points. Okay, that should help. All right, so significantly thinner, which is totally fine. Kind of what I wanted. I think this is going to be maybe the final blank before we do anything else with it. Okay. I like this. I like this. Okay, let's come together. Come on. Friction is strong, man. All right. So, now we have significantly smaller handle. Which still is all wonky. Because also with these type of pieces, as you remove wood, there's like internal pressures in them, and they come undone. So, like, there's just a big belly here. But I really just don't want to cut into this more. Yeah, I have to, though. Almost done. We'll do this one more bit of draw knifing. Make sure. Ah! Oh, what? That was a wood there. I knocked it over. So powerful. Okay. We're just going to have to be extra careful. If you had a bullnose plane, you could do this with a bullnose plane. I don't. Oh, I might actually have trouble just getting it started because it's so close, so far down on the bench. This is a conundrum. Not really a conundrum. I know the answer, but it's not camera friendly because I just have to take this off the edge of the bench and do it. It's been about 45 minutes. That's fine for a stream. I don't like to stream too long anyway. I'm probably gonna end on this. No, I'm just gonna do that, and then we'll look at attaching it on there. And probably by the next stream, that should be attached, and we should be ready to go on to the canvassing. Canvassing is gonna be a fun process. I'm still looking for a big old stock pot to do the waterproof or fireproofing, waterproofing / airproofing. But I want that to be the next stream because basically the deadline for this, and I hate project timelines, but the deadline for this is this spring because I can't really blacksmith until the spring. Fall, A, I'm booked up, and B, after daylight savings time, I can only do it on weekends, and I want to concentrate to hit the ground running next year. So I do have a laptop that I'm going to try to get fixed. It's a good laptop. It just needs some R&R. But I would like to eventually get that to be able to stream blacksmithing. I think that'd be cool. But yeah, I've been Mutgren, and thank you for joining me at Dad's Old Shop, and have a good rest of your weekend. And I'll try to stream next week. Next week meaning, I count these as weeks, within the next 7 to 10 days. Might actually be in my summer car stream because I want to play that again. We had a lot of good progress, and I don't want to fall back on that. But once again, thank you for joining me, and take it easy.